My friends, let me ask you a simple question. What is more difficult, winning against others or winning against yourself? Most of us are trained from childhood to compete with the world, to run faster, to score higher, to earn bigger. But how many of us were trained to win in the game of life itself? Because let me tell you, life is not about winning over people. It's about winning over problems. It's not about proving yourself better than others. It's about proving yourself better than who you were yesterday. So today, let me share with you 5 rules to win in life. Simple rules, powerful rules. If you live by them, you won't just win trophies, you'll win peace, purpose, and people's hearts. My friends, when I say the first rule to win in life is win over your mind before you try to win the world, I really mean it. You see, the mind is the battlefield where all victories and all defeats begin. If the mind is calm, clear, and strong, even the toughest storm cannot shake you. But if the mind is restless, anxious, or negative, then even the smallest challenge can feel like a mountain. Think about it. How many times have we lost not because the problem was too big, but because our mind told us you can't do it? The world outside is only half the game. The real game is inside us. Let me give you a small example. Imagine 2 people preparing for an exam. One spends time studying but keeps telling himself, "I am so weak, I will fail. I can't remember anything." The other may not even study as much but tells herself, "I will do my best, I can learn, I am capable." Who do you think performs better? It's not just the books, it's the mindset. The moment you win that inner dialogue, you've already taken the first step towards winning outside. Winning over the mind means becoming the master, not the servant of your thoughts. Most people allow their minds to control them. A small insult and the mind burns for hours. A tiny worry and the mind steals your whole night of sleep. But when you win your mind, you choose your response. Someone insults you, and instead of reacting with anger, you pause, smile, and respond with maturity. That's not weakness, that's strength, because you didn't allow their words to control your emotions. Great leaders, spiritual teachers, even athletes, they all know this secret. They don't just train their body, they train their mind. A soldier on the battlefield may be physically strong, but if fear conquers his mind, he loses before the war even begins. Similarly, in life, if anxiety, doubt, and negativity conquer your mind, you lose before you even start trying. So, my friends, ask yourself, are you controlling your mind or is your mind controlling you? The day you learn to manage your thoughts, your emotions, and your reactions, you will realize something magical. The world outside may not always obey you, but the world inside will always be in your control. And once you've won that battle, every other victory will simply follow. That is why the very first and most important rule to win in life is to win over your mind. Competing with yourself, not with others, is one of the deepest lessons life can teach us. My friends, from childhood, we are placed in a system where comparison becomes the measure of our worth. Parents compare siblings, teachers compare students, society compares neighbors, and social media compares everybody with everybody else. And without even realizing it, we begin to live a life not of progress, but of competition, where the only question we ask is, am I better than him? Am I better than her? But the real question should be, am I better than who I was yesterday? Because that is the only true competition worth engaging in. Let me share something with you. Imagine running on a treadmill in the gym. Next to you, someone else is running faster, sweating more, maybe even lifting heavier weights. If your eyes are only on them, you may feel discouraged or overconfident, depending on who looks stronger. But here's the truth. Whether they run faster or slower makes no difference to your body. Your muscles will only grow based on your own effort. Your stamina will only improve if you push yourself a little more than last time. Competing with others might give you a temporary thrill, but competing with yourself gives you permanent growth. The problem with comparing ourselves to others is that there will always be someone ahead and always someone behind. If you compare yourself with those behind you, you'll feel pride. If you compare yourself with those ahead of you, you'll feel jealousy. And both pride and jealousy are dangerous. Pride makes you stagnant because you feel there's no need to improve. Jealousy makes you miserable because you feel you're never good enough. But when you compete only with yourself, you live in a balance. You remain humble because you know there's always room to grow, and you remain peaceful because you know you're running your own race. Think of a farmer planting seeds. If he keeps comparing his field with his neighbors, he may feel discouraged that the crops aren't growing as fast, or he may feel superior if his plants are greener. But in both cases, he wastes energy. His focus should only be on his own field, watering it, nurturing it, protecting it. Because at the end of the season, the neighbor's field won't feed him, only his own field will. In the same way, in the field of life, your progress is what will nourish you, not someone else's. Even in the spiritual traditions, saints and wise teachers remind us the real journey is inward. You are not here to outshine someone else's light. You are here to make your light shine brighter than it did yesterday. A small candle does not compete with the sun, but it still removes darkness in its space. Similarly, you don't have to be better than everyone in the world. You just have to be the best version of yourself. That is victory. So my friends, ask yourself each night before you sleep, not did I beat someone today, but did I grow today? Did I learn something new? Did I become a little kinder, a little wiser, a little stronger than yesterday? If the answer is yes, then you are already winning. Because life is not about outrunning others. It's about outgrowing yourself. And when you live by this rule, every day becomes a victory and every step becomes progress. Fail forward, don't fear failure. That's the third rule to win in life, my friends. And it is one of the most misunderstood lessons in our journey. From childhood, most of us are taught to see failure as the end of the road. We are taught to hide it, to feel ashamed of it, to believe that failing means we are not good enough. But the truth is, this failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of success. Every person you admire, every leader, every inventor, every saint, every champion has stood face to face with failure. The difference is they didn't let failure stop them. They let failure teach them. Think about the story of Thomas Edison. When he was trying to invent the light bulb, he failed over 1,000 times. Journalists mocked him and asked, "How does it feel to fail 1,000 times?" Edison calmly replied, "I didn't fail 1,000 times. I found 1,000 ways that didn't work." That mindset is what makes a winner. Most people see failure as a wall. They stop, they give up, they turn back. But winners see failure as a staircase. They climb higher with every step, even if they stumble. In life, failure is like a teacher, a strict teacher, yes, but a wise one. When you fail, it is not life saying you're not good enough. It is life saying, here's what you need to learn. If a child falls while learning to walk, do we tell the child don't ever try again? No. We cheer for them to stand again. Why? Because falling is part of walking. Then why as adults do we suddenly believe that falling means we're not meant to walk? Somewhere along the way, we forgot that mistakes are simply stepping stones to mastery. I remember a young man once told a spiritual teacher, "I don't want to fail. I only want to succeed." The teacher smiled and said, "Then you don't want to live, because life itself is a series of failures and successes woven together." Every great musician once played wrong notes. Every great speaker once forgot their words. Every great entrepreneur once lost money. Every great human being once felt broken, but they didn't let that stop them. They failed forward. They allowed each setback to prepare them for a stronger comeback. The real tragedy in life is not failure, it is the fear of failure. Fear paralyzes us, it stops us from even trying. And if we don't try, we don't learn. And if we don't learn, we never grow. That is why so many people live safe, average, comfortable lives. Not because they lack talent, but because they feared failure too much to step outside the known. They chose the comfort of safety over the adventure of growth. But those who win in life understand failure is not a monster to run away from. It is a guide that shapes you. So my friends, Whenever you face failure, don't shrink back. Ask yourself, what lesson is this teaching me? How can I use this as fuel to move forward? The first time you fail, it may feel painful. The second time, it may still hurt. But if you learn by the third or fourth time, you will realize failure is no longer your enemy. It has become your coach. And once you reach that stage, nothing in the world can stop you because you are no longer afraid of falling. You are focused on rising. And that, my friends, is how you fail forward. Motivation is exciting, but discipline is sustaining. That's the fourth rule to win in life. My friends, we all love motivation. It feels powerful, it feels inspiring, it feels like a sudden burst of energy that can move mountains. You watch a motivational video, you attend a seminar, you listen to a speech, and you feel like you can change your entire life in one night. But here's the truth, that feeling does not last. Motivation is like a spark. It lights you up for a while, but if you don't add fuel, it quickly burns out. Discipline, on the other hand, is like steady fire. It may not look as glamorous, but it keeps you warm for life. Let me give you an example. Imagine a student preparing for exams. On the first day, he watches a motivational video about success. He feels charged up, so he studies for 6 hours straight. The next day, however, he doesn't feel that same energy, so he studies only for 1 hour. The third day, he doesn't study at all because he doesn't feel motivated. What happens at the end? He fails. Now imagine another student. She doesn't rely on feelings. She creates a discipline. She studies for 2 hours every day, whether she feels motivated or not. Slowly, day by day, her knowledge builds up. Her confidence grows, and at the end, she succeeds. Who won? The one with discipline, not the one with excitement. This is why winners in life are not the most inspired people. They are the most consistent. A marathon runner doesn't practice only on the days he feels energetic. A musician doesn't play only when inspiration strikes. A monk doesn't meditate only when the mind feels peaceful. They show up every single day no matter how they feel, and that is discipline. Doing what needs to be done, especially when you don't feel like doing it. We must understand that feelings are temporary, but discipline builds permanence. You may not always feel like exercising, but if you push yourself with discipline, your body will grow strong. You may not always feel like being kind, but if you practice kindness daily, it becomes part of your character. You may not always feel like working hard, but if you show up every day, success eventually shows up at your door too. Feelings are like guests, they come and go. Discipline is like family, it stays with you for life. I once heard a story of a bamboo tree. When you plant the seed of bamboo for years, nothing grows above the ground. You water it, you nurture it, you wait, but nothing seems to happen. Many people give up thinking it's useless, but the farmer with discipline keeps watering. After 5 years, suddenly the bamboo shoots up to nearly 90 feet high in just a few weeks. Did it grow in those few weeks? No. It was growing underground, building roots, strengthening itself. That is the power of discipline. It works silently, invisibly, and then suddenly you see the results. My friends, ask yourself, how often have you given up on something just because motivation disappeared? How many times did you start with enthusiasm only to stop because you didn't feel the same fire? The truth is, winners don't wait for the fire to appear. They light their own fire through habits, routines, and discipline. If you depend on motivation, you'll succeed only sometimes. If you depend on discipline, you'll succeed all the time. So don't ask yourself, am I motivated today? Instead ask, am I disciplined today? Because motivation can start the race, but only discipline can finish it. And life doesn't reward starters, it rewards finishers. That's why the real champions, the real leaders, the real winners are not the ones who felt motivated once in a while. They are the ones who build discipline every single day. Even when it was hard, even when it was boring, even when no one was watching. That, my friends, is the true mark of a winner. Choosing long-term gain over short-term pleasure is one of the most difficult but most rewarding rules to win in life. My friends, human beings are naturally wired to seek comfort, ease, and instant gratification. We want results now. We want pleasure now, we want success now. But life doesn't work that way. Anything truly meaningful, anything truly valuable requires patience, sacrifice, and persistence. And the tragedy is, most people trade their long-term growth for short-term comfort and later wonder why life feels empty. Think about health. Eating junk food gives you instant pleasure. It tastes good. It feels satisfying in the moment. But what does it do to your body in the long run? Weight gain, disease, low energy. On the other hand, eating healthy may not always feel exciting in the moment, but in the long run, it gives you strength, clarity, and longevity. The same applies to exercise. Skipping the gym feels good for the moment. You get extra sleep. You avoid effort. But years later, your body pays the price. The difference between winners and losers in life often comes down to this. Winners endure the temporary discomfort today to enjoy lasting rewards tomorrow, while others enjoy temporary pleasure today and suffer lasting regret tomorrow. Look at relationships. Many people choose the easy path, avoiding hard conversations, chasing superficial attraction, or walking away when things get tough. That gives short-term relief, yes, but in the long run, it destroys trust, love, and depth. True relationships require patience, forgiveness, effort, and sacrifice. It may feel difficult now, but later it gives the joy of companionship, loyalty, and shared growth. If you always choose what feels easy now, you rob yourself of what feels fulfilling later. Even in careers, this principle applies. A person who scrolls social media for hours every day feels entertained in the moment. A person who spends the same hours learning, building skills, or working on a dream may feel tired, even bored at times. But in the long run, they become valuable, respected, and successful. The irony is this: the people who choose short-term pleasure often end up with long-term suffering, while those who accept short-term discomfort often end up with long-term joy. There is a story of a farmer who had a golden goose. Each day the goose laid one golden egg, but the farmer was impatient. He wanted all the gold at once. So he killed the goose only to find nothing inside. He sacrificed long-term gain for short-term greed, and he lost everything. This is exactly how many of us live. We want all the results now, without patience, without process. And in doing so, we destroy the very foundation of our future success. My friends, remember this. Pleasure is easy, but growth is hard. Yet growth is the only thing that brings lasting fulfillment. Winners train their minds to delay gratification. They tell themselves, I will suffer a little now so I can celebrate much later. Whether it's saving money instead of spending it, studying instead of partying, working on a dream instead of wasting time, or choosing honesty over the easy lie. Every time you pick long-term gain, you are investing in your future self. Ask yourself today, what choices am I making? Am I living for the pleasure of this moment or for the peace of tomorrow? Am I sacrificing my health, my time, my relationships, my values for something that only feels good now? Or am I building something that will still bring me joy 10 years later? Because the truth is, every day you are either planting seeds of regret or seeds of reward, and the harvest always comes. So if you want to win in life, stop chasing what is easy and start choosing what is meaningful. Don't give in to every craving, every distraction, every temptation. Remind yourself, pleasure fades quickly, but purpose lasts forever. That is why the true winners are not the ones who had the most fun in the moment, but the ones who built a life they could be proud of in the long run. Choosing long-term gain over short-term pleasure is not always comfortable, but it is always worth it. That is how you truly win in life. Surround yourself with the right people. This is one of the most powerful rules to win in life, my friends. Because no matter how talented, disciplined, or determined you are, the people you walk with will either accelerate your growth or quietly destroy it. You may think you are strong enough to remain unaffected, but human beings are deeply influenced by the company they keep. Just like a flower absorbs fragrance from the garden it grows in, we absorb energy, habits, and values from the people around us. If you surround yourself with negativity, gossip, laziness, and complaints, you will slowly begin to think, act, and live the same way. But if you surround yourself with people who uplift you, challenge you, inspire you, and remind you of your higher potential, then their presence becomes fuel for your journey. Let me give you an example. Imagine two friends. One of them spends evenings at home reading books, working on projects, improving himself. The other spends evenings partying, wasting time, and avoiding responsibility. If you keep company with the second friend long enough, even if you start with good intentions, you will eventually compromise. Why? Because environment is stronger than willpower. Slowly you will convince yourself it's okay to skip work today. It's okay to waste this week. Everyone else is doing it. Before you know it, your standards fall without even realizing. But if you surround yourself with the first type of friend, even if you are lazy in the beginning, their discipline will rub off on you. You will feel inspired to rise, to grow, to match their energy. That is the hidden power of company. There is an old proverb, if you walk with three wise men, you will become the fourth. If you walk with three fools, you become the fourth. This is not about judgment, but about influence. The people closest to you shape the way you think, and the way you think shapes the way you live. Ask yourself honestly, do the people around me push me higher or pull me lower? Do they make me a better version of myself or a weaker one? If the answer is not clear, then perhaps it is time to reflect on your circle. Even great achievers understood this principle. A champion athlete doesn't train alone. They train with a coach who pushes them harder than they would push themselves. A musician grows faster in the company of other musicians who refine their craft. A student grows wiser in the company of teachers who challenge their intellect. Nobody climbs mountains alone. They always climb with the right companions, with guides, with mentors, with people who won't let them quit halfway. Similarly, in the mountain of life, you need companions who won't let you stop when it gets hard, who won't let you settle when you can achieve more, who won't let you forget your values when temptations come. Sometimes, my friends, choosing the right people also means letting go of the wrong ones. This is hard because we form emotional attachments. But understand this, you don't have to hate someone to distance yourself from them. You simply have to recognize that not everyone deserves a front row seat in your life. Some people belong in the audience, not on the stage with you. Protect your stage, because when you allow the wrong people to stand too close, they can sabotage the whole performance. Now, this doesn't mean you only seek perfect people. Nobody is perfect, but there is a difference between people who bring out the worst in you and people who bring out the best. Choose friends who celebrate your success without envy, who tell you the truth even when it hurts, who stand by you in silence when words are not enough, who push you to grow when you feel like giving up. Surround yourself with mentors who remind you of the bigger picture, with peers who challenge you to improve, and with loved ones who remind you of your values when the world tries to shake them. Winning in life is not just about how strong you are individually. It is about the ecosystem you build around yourself. Because when the storm comes, and it always does, your circle will either anchor you or drown you. That is why, if you truly want to win, surround yourself with the right people. People whose presence is not a weight that drags you down, but a wind that lifts you higher. People who don't just walk with you when the road is smooth, but who stand with you when the road gets rough. With such people by your side, even the hardest journey becomes lighter, and even the tallest mountain becomes climbable. That is the power of the right company. Win with humility, not ego. That, my friends, is one of the most important lessons for anyone who wants to truly win in life. Because victory without humility is not victory at all. It is just arrogance wearing a crown. And arrogance, sooner or later, always destroys what it creates. You see, many people in this world believe that success gives them the license to look down on others. They think achievements make them superior, that wealth makes them more valuable, that status makes them untouchable. But the truth is simple. The higher you rise, the more humble you must become. Because humility is the foundation that keeps great victories standing. Without it, everything eventually collapses. Think of a tree, my friends. When it bears no fruit, it stands tall and upright. But when the tree is full of fruits, its branches bend downwards. The weight of the fruit makes it humble. In the same way, when people are truly wise, truly successful, truly great, they don't walk around with ego, they walk with humility. They don't boast about how much they know. They allow their actions to speak. They don't remind everyone of their achievements. They remind themselves of the journey it took to get there. Ego shouts. Humility whispers. And yet the whisper of humility is far louder in people's hearts than the scream of ego. History gives us so many examples. Great kings and leaders who let their ego take control lost everything in pride. Empires collapsed because rulers thought they were invincible. But on the other hand, some of the most respected leaders in the world, spiritual teachers, saints, reformers, are remembered not for how much power they held, but for how much humility they carried. They didn't win people's fear, they won people's love. And love, unlike fear, never fades. Ego, my friends, is like a balloon. It rises high, but one small pin can destroy it. Humility is like the ground, steady, firm, and unshakable. When you live with ego, every criticism feels like an attack. Every disagreement feels like disrespect. Every small loss feels like humiliation. But when you live with humility, you realize that criticism is a chance to grow. Disagreement is an opportunity to understand, and loss is a reminder to stay grounded. Humility transforms the way you see everything. There was once a story of a wise monk who was invited to give a lecture at a large gathering. Thousands came to hear him. After he spoke, the crowd erupted in applause. But the monk quietly bowed his head and said, "Do not clap for me. Clap for the wisdom that flows through me. I am just a vessel." That is humility. Recognizing that success is never just about you. It is about the teachers who guided you, the friends who supported you, the struggles that shaped you, and the divine grace that carried you. Ego says I did it all alone. Humility says I stand on the shoulders of many. In daily life, ego creates distance between people. It says I am better than you. I don't need you. I know more than you. Humility, on the other hand, builds bridges. It says I respect you. I can learn from you. I value you. Which person do you think wins hearts? Which person do you think leaves a lasting legacy? People may admire your talent, but they will remember your humility. People may respect your power, but they will love your simplicity. Winning with humility doesn't mean you deny your achievements or hide your strengths. It means you carry them with grace. It means you don't need to put others down to feel higher. It means you understand that true greatness is not measured by how many people bow before you, but by how many people rise because of you. Ego may get you to the top, but humility will keep you there. Ego may bring you followers, but humility will bring you true friends. Ego may create noise, but humility creates harmony. So my friends, the next time you win, ask yourself, am I using this victory to inflate my ego or to inspire others? Am I standing taller to overshadow people or to lift them higher? Because at the end of the day, success without humility is empty, but success with humility is divine. The world doesn't need more loud winners, it needs more gentle giants. Those who rise high yet bow low. Those who achieve much yet remain grounded. Those who understand that humility is not a weakness but the ultimate strength. That is how you truly win in life. Balance success with inner peace. That, my friends, is a rule most people ignore until it is too late. We live in a world that glorifies hustle, achievements, and external success. People chase promotions, wealth, recognition, and status as if those are the only measures of a life well lived. And yes, success has its place. Working hard, achieving goals, making progress, these are all important. But what is the use of reaching the top of the ladder if the ladder is leaning against the wrong wall? What is the point of earning the whole world if in the process you lose your smile, your health, your relationships, and your peace of mind? That, my friends, is not success. That is silent failure disguised as victory. Think about this. We all know people who drive luxury cars but cannot sleep peacefully at night. We know people with big houses but broken homes. We know people with high positions but heavy hearts. The truth is, success without peace is like food without taste. It looks good from the outside, but it doesn't nourish you from within. Real success is when your achievements and your peace of mind walk hand in hand. One without the other is incomplete. There's a story of a businessman who worked tirelessly to build his empire. He had everything money could buy: mansions, cars, influence. But one day, while sitting in his office, surrounded by awards, he realized something. He was lonely. His children had grown distant. His health was fragile. His heart felt empty. All his life, he had chased outer success and ignored inner balance. Now, at the peak of his achievements, he felt bankrupt in the things that mattered most. That realization broke him. Sadly, this is the story of millions today. They are winning outside but losing inside. True winners understand that inner peace is not optional. It is essential. It is what gives meaning to all your success. When you are at peace, you can actually enjoy your victories. Without peace, even the biggest win feels hollow. Inner peace comes when your values align with your actions. When you live in integrity, when you know you are not betraying yourself just to impress the world. It comes from maintaining balance, working hard but also resting well, striving high but also staying grounded, achieving much but also nurturing relationships. Look at nature, for example. The sun shines brightly during the day, but it also sets every evening to allow the world to rest. The tides rise high, but they also fall low to maintain balance in the oceans. Even the human heart beats with rhythm. Expansion and contraction, push and pause. If the heart only pushed without pause, it would fail. Similarly, if your life is only push without pause, only success without stillness, you too will break. Balance is not weakness, it is wisdom. My friends, inner peace does not mean you stop working or give up ambition. It means you don't let ambition consume you. It means you know when to accelerate and when to slow down. It means you enjoy the journey, not just obsess over the destination. It means you spend time with loved ones. You take care of your body, you nurture your spirit, and you don't compromise your joy for a paycheck. Because at the end of your life, nobody will remember how many hours you worked in the office. They will remember how you made them feel, how much laughter you shared, how much love you gave, and whether you were truly present. So ask yourself, is my success making me smile or making me restless? Am I chasing achievements that fill my bank account but empty my heart? Am I balancing the outer climb with the inner calm? If not, pause, reflect, realign. Because winning in life does not mean standing on the podium alone with a trophy. It means standing with peace in your heart and people you love by your side. That is the kind of success that lasts, the kind of success that satisfies, the kind of success that truly matters. Learn to adapt and grow with change. Because change is not the enemy. Change is the nature of life itself. No matter how much we try to resist it, change is inevitable. Seasons change, circumstances change, people change. Even we ourselves are constantly changing. The problem is not change. The problem is our resistance to it. We cling to the familiar, to the comfort zone, to what we already know. And in doing so, we miss out on the opportunities that come with transformation. Think of a river. A river is never the same twice. Its waters flow and shift every moment. Yet, it never loses its identity as a river. Similarly, in life, we are meant to flow, not freeze. The moment we stop adapting, we stop living and start merely existing. Some people spend their entire lives trying to hold on to the past, replaying old chapters, clinging to what once was. But life is like a book. You cannot start the next chapter if you keep rereading the old one. Growth only comes when you turn the page, when you allow yourself to step into what's new, even if it feels uncertain. There's a powerful lesson in nature. The caterpillar must let go of its form to become a butterfly. If it resists change, if it tries to hold on to being a caterpillar, it will never know the freedom of flight. Many of us are like that caterpillar. afraid to leave behind what feels safe, afraid of the dark cocoon stage, afraid of the unknown. But only those who embrace the discomfort of transformation get to experience the beauty of wings. History is full of people who thrived because they adapted. When times changed, they didn't complain, they adjusted. When challenges arose, they didn't shrink, they innovated. Those who resist change often get left behind, while those who accept it rise above. Remember, the strongest tree is not the one that never bends, but the one that bends without breaking. Flexibility is not weakness, it is strength in disguise. On a personal level, change teaches us humility. It reminds us that nothing is permanent, neither our struggles nor our successes. This realization makes us wiser. When life is hard, we remember it won't last forever. When life is easy, we remember not to take it for granted. Change is a silent teacher shaping us into better, stronger, wiser versions of ourselves. But let me ask you, how do you usually respond to change? With fear, with anger, with denial, or with curiosity, openness, and faith? The truth is, your response determines whether change will break you or build you. When you resist, you suffer. When you adapt, you grow. Think of the pandemic the world recently faced. So many people struggled because they were waiting for things to go back to normal. But the ones who adapted, the ones who learned new skills, embraced new ways of working, stayed open to new ideas, those people not only survived, they thrived. Life will never go back to what it was. It always moves forward, and those who move forward with it win. Adaptation does not mean you lose yourself. It means you evolve. Just like water takes the shape of any container but never loses its essence, you too can adapt without compromising who you are. Adaptation is not about changing your core values. It's about adjusting your strategies. If one door closes, you find another. If the wind shifts, you adjust your sails. If the path is blocked, you carve a new one. That's what winners do. They don't complain about the storm. They learn how to dance in the rain. So, my friends, don't fear change. Embrace it. Don't resist growth. Welcome it. Life will always surprise you with twists and turns. Sometimes it will push you out of your comfort zone. Sometimes it will strip away what you thought you couldn't live without. But every change, whether painful or pleasant, carries within it the seed of new possibilities. If you can learn to adapt, if you can learn to flow, if you can grow with change instead of fighting it, you will not only survive in life, you will flourish. Because the ones who truly win are not the ones who cling to the past, but the ones who boldly step into the future.